Welcome to Living Chassidus. Together, let's live the Chassidus we learn.
Morning, everybody. Welcome to Chassidus in the morning. 15 minutes to change our lives. Good Sichus Chelek Aleph Pashas Lecha. So, continuing on. So basically, we were discussing how there's Lech Lecha, Ma'atzcha, Mladetcha, Mitzvah. There's three levels ultimately in this. There's from Lamaya Lamata, which is the neshama coming down from above to below into the world, and then it's from below to above, and then there's in the mata itself, the below itself. There's three levels. So yesterday we're discussing on all these different levels this idea that al karch atachaya, against you will you live, which means that the nefesh lekis, that the neshama of a yid doesn't want to come down. Because the neshama of the yid was up in Shemayim, connected to Hashem, and talking about all the different levels in that, and there's higher levels and higher levels. And it comes down, and has to come down in this physical world, and has to deal with the physicality of the world. Doesn't want to do this. Doesn't enjoy this. It's just challenging. Like Fidikov says in the Sikha, that they show the neshama before it comes down, Gan Eden and Gehenna, to know what's clear. And it's like, whoa, I don't want to do it. I don't want to be here. This is dangerous. This is crazy stuff. But what we're ultimately saying is, so you're ready to Echeliah, and that's sort of the two contrasts. On one hand, we don't want to be here, but only through being here is the transformation happens. Like we talked about yesterday, that as much as living life in seminary is fun, but that's not true living, and it's specific, and it's there for the time period, just like Tishrei is, but it's about bringing it down and coming down to this world, and specifically coming down to this world, as we're going to continue saying today, is when you come out to the highest of levels. Today, what we're going to discuss. I'm going to bring out this point in when we say in morning brachas. Give me 1 second, get this siddur. Okay. So, just finishing off the Ois Gimel. Just like we say in the morning brachas. And what do we say? We say, Lekai neshama shenasata bi, Hashem, the neshama that you gave me, Tehera, it's pure. Ata barasa, you created it. Ata itata, you formed it. Ata nefachtu biya, you blew into it. Ata sham v'kibiv, ata asidlam, yeah. And then we say, yeah, that's what we part of the morning brachas, the Lekai neshama. So this is how it works. See, so he explains. You can understand this paragraph in terms of the worlds. So when it's in morning brachas. Neshama shenasata b'teira here, the neshama that you put into me is pure. And you got it within me. So what does it mean? Tehira, when you say that, when we talk about the neshama that's pure, what were we talking about? The neshama k'fi shehi b'el matzilus. This is talking about the neshama as it is in the world of Atzilus. Now you have l'mayla mizeh. L'mayla mizeh shenasata that you gave me. So there's the neshama tehira here, it's tahir. That's the level of Atzilus. But then there's even a higher level of Atzilus, which is Shenasat that he gave to me. Rafa Pichein, you read it, nevertheless, you read it, the neshama misham, the neshama comes down from there. Libria, Libarasa. Like we say in the verse, at the Barasa, you created it. El Mabria, which is referencing the world of Bria. And then you have Yitzira, Yitzarta, which is the Elam Yitzira. You formed it. And then you have Ad Nafatu, which you blew into me, which is Begur Fagashmi in this physical world. But specifically through coming down to the physical world, to the neshama coming down from all these levels, that Tahira here, Ata Barasa, Ata Itaita, Ata Nafachtu bringing it down to this physical world. You reach the level of this level, which you said is even above the Atzilus, which is Ata Masham Makibi. You got it within me. It's even higher than the level of Tahira here. We said Tahira here was the level of Atzilus, and we're saying the neshama comes out even higher level than Atzilus. Even higher than the level that's above Atzilus, which is Shenasat that he gave me, which we said it was above Atzilus. Because there's an idea that the God is stronger than the one who is guarding. And in simple logic, you have a security guard or you have a bodyguard. The bodyguard has to be stronger than the person he's guarding, because that's his job, is to protect. Yeah. So this level of Shenasata be given to me is a high level. This is what it means, the line I will show you in the pasuk of Lech Lecha. Sh'ani, what does it mean that I will show you? So the Rebbe says that Ani is talking about Atzos Ein Sof, Hashem's infinite essence. Right there, that level of godliness, Lahar Eis Lecha, to show you, Kidav Kakan Lamata, specifically, and this is sort of the Chiddush, that it says that so you leave all these things, you leave all these levels, and the Neshama leaves the way it was in Atzilus and above Atzilus, and it comes down to all these levels and comes into the physical world. And specifically, when it's in the physical world, specifically, in simple English, specifically, we're in the world struggling or trying not to struggle in just being out of the holy environment, just having to deal with life. That specifically, the level of Atzmus comes and shows you. I want to show himself to you. You want to get to Atzmus? It's not in seminary. It's not in Tishrei. It's not the real. You get some levels, but the realness where you really get it is out of them. Kidaf kakan lamata, specifically here below, yecholim lahasig es atzmusu yisbarach. Because of like it says in Tanya, and specifically in this physical world, is where you can get Hashem's essence. Not in the higher world. In Atzilus, you can't get Hashem's essence. And specifically in this physical world. How do we do that? Sheleis machshavat tfisa ki'im, because there's no way of grasping Hashem, but kashem tfisa mislabeshes b'torah mitzvah. It's specifically when you learn on Torah and you do mitzvahs. Shelei v'shamayim hein, they're not in heaven, ela davka el mazagashi. They're specifically in this physical world. And this is a good meditation before we do a mitzvah or before we learn Torah. I'm not just coming to learn Torah because it's fun. I'm not just doing a mitzvah because I need to do the mitzvah now, which is also important. But we can say to ourselves, hey, when I'm doing this mitzvah now, I can connect to Hashem on a level that I could never do outside of this world. Then my neshama would love to be, and I'd love to be in a better world, just live life easy and not have to worry about just daven and learn all day and don't have to worry about the mundane. But when I go and I have to go to work and I make myself time to learn and to daven, and I do that, it could be my chittas, it could be in morning brachas, it could be whatever it is, I can just have this little meditation and say, hey, man, when I'm doing this right now, I'm connecting to Hashem's essence in a way that cannot be done other ways. That's what we're saying. Ois Daled. Now, after this whole thing happens, the neshama goes and leaves everything that we talked about till now, from its land, from above to below, like we've been saying till now. Yerida, Mikah, Dargas, and Ailis, going away from all these high levels, Nislabsha, Buguvagash gets included in the physical body. Mikabelas he es hakoyach, Matsiur, it gets the strength and the ability, meaning not just that we come down here and we have to, and like we're going to fail, we have the ability to succeed. Lech Lecha Ma'aretzecha, El Aretz Yareka, we get to be able to go out of this place from the above to below and go to the line I will show you. Lefi hapirush hasheni milmat l'mayla. According to the second level, which is from below to above, and we'll explain. This is how it works. Hayetzahara harehi akdima. 10 years. So the Yetzahara comes and is before. In the beginning, you have the Yetzahara. The initial kiss comes in much later. So you have these years of Yetzahara coming in and making problems for us. Nichnas la'ada misha shnenar mitzias me'ei imoy. From the moment that it comes out of the mother's womb, you have the Yetzahara there. And so you have to have some special abilities to overcome this. And so to look at this in a very simple sense, that what the Rebbe is saying is that when we come and the Yetzirah wins and it gets to do the things that we know we shouldn't be doing, and afterward we do it, it's like, why did I do that? It was such a dumb thing. We have to understand the Yetzirah is not stomach, just not. They're very good. It's been around for a long time, and it knows us very well. And knows how to tap into us. And this that we didn't succeed is not with bad people. That makes sense. We just have to work hard, and we have to believe in the fact that we can overcome it. And even more, like before all that conversation happened, we have to be sensitive enough to understand who's who's the Yetzirah, who's the Yetzer Tov, when they're speaking. When I did that, where that come from? That's the first conversation. Once you have that, and you realize, hey, one second, that was the Yetzirah, and I failed miserably. It's like, hey, that's fine. That's he knows what he's doing. He's been around there for a while. וכשהנשמה ירדת למטה, ונותנים לה כוח זה, שתוכל לצאת מארצך ולשון רצה, ורצונס נפש בהמס. And what happens when the neshama comes down? It's given the ability to be able to go the artzacha, which is the ratza, which is the retzenes, the wants and the desires of nefesh bahamis, and from our birthplace on a deep level means mehanachis haseichel hativi, from our like a set intellect, natural intellect, meaning our nature or nurture upbringing. So we're all born with a certain upbringing. This especially applies when you get married. Suddenly you realize that someone else has your husband or the spouse has a different hanacha, a different way of seeing things. And this is what we're saying. We're brought up in such a way, but we have the ability to change that. What's our values? This is a very important point. When you go in shidduchim, you should have values. What's an important value for yourself? And we can change that value. We can have a value just because that's where we grew up, and we don't even think about it. What we're saying is we have the ability to change that. Our natural emotions, that we naturally do certain things because of our upbringing, because of life. And this was saying, Lech, go out of these things and go out of that. And you don't have to be stuck in that situation just because when you were a kid and they told you you're not good at something, or, as one of my favorite stories, my brother was in high school, they told him, you're not good at maths. You shouldn't, in college, don't study maths. And he said, Baruch Hashem, I didn't take it to heart. When he went to Israel, he went to university, he did engineering, or electrical engineering, and one of the subjects was maths. It's all about maths. And he got 100 on his test, and he goes, I'm so glad I listened to that teacher. And this is the Lech Lecha. You have certain natural things that people are telling you, and the way you're being brought up to think and taught. And we have the ability to not get stuck in those things, to go out of it. And this is very important in marriage, to recognize it and to say, is this the right hanacha? Or is it wrong? As my father said, that when he became frum, he looked at all these hanachas that he had, and he wondered, is this a good hanacha? Now that I'm frum, is this according to Torah or just done this what we do? That's what we're saying. When we base Avecha from our father's house, minyanim shebo besibas achinuch v'hahergel shaloike debayim. That's from our father's house, meaning from what we grew up in, our nature, and what that certain hanacha that were given to us. Adam mikol and yanim ha'ela. We can go out of all these things. We're not stuck with this just because, like the title of the shim, all growth happens outside the comfort zone. This is our comfort zone. We're used to this. We're brought up with. That's how we do it. Why do we do it? Just because it's how we've done it all the time. But the Lech Lecha, the Parashat Lech Lecha, is teaching us that you don't have to get stuck in that way. You can go out of that. You can change that. And if it's not the right hanacha, it's not the right axiom that you have, not the right value, so we should change that. To go to the land of Sharaka, that I will show you, like we said before, that I will show you, meaning that Atzmos wants to show himself to us. The Beis Knesset, which means here, going to Shul, the Beis HaMedrash, going to play house of study, Sham, Heim, Ritzonis, Nefesh L'Kis, that's where your Nefesh L'Kis wants to be. Let's call it this will nullify and get rid of all these natural tendencies, and all those natural things that we have that aren't necessarily in line with Torah mitzvahs. And that's the end of Oizdal. We'll finish our Hey tomorrow. But just to sum up, what we're saying is that the Lech Lecha idea is that we can, before the Lecha was going from above to below, and then the Neshama is all pure and doesn't want to come down, but has to come down because really, specifically down here is when all the magic happens. But now we're saying, but there's also Lech Lecha, that when you're down here and you have the Yetzer Hara, and the Yetzer Hara comes and he's there, and the Yetzer Hara is not an idiot, he's very smart, and then comes and rules us and controls a lot of our lives, but not for our own benefit. And the Yetzer Hara comes, and so we're given the ability to overcome that. And this is the Lech Lecha from your land, it's like, for example, a person comes from Australia, so they say, oh, he's relaxed, easygoing, which can be a good thing, and it's not a good thing. And we get an opportunity. This is teaching us to think about what are our values, and what are our nature, and what are we brought up with, and how are they, and are they positive ones or negative ones? And if they're good, perfect. And if they need to be changed, so let's change them. And this is what we're saying. And Mitzvah Hashem, which be successful in our Lech Lecha, and this week's Parsha continue on tomorrow. Have a great day.